The galaxy had never seen a species like humans, small in number, fragile in appearance yet full of unyielding spirit and cunning. From the towering crystal spires of Xantor to the glittering orbital cities of Virelia, whispers of humanity's rapid rise spread like wildfire. Most of the Council, the united body of the galaxy's most powerful species, dismissed these rumors. But a few voices warned of danger. In the Grand Council chamber, a colossal dome of shimmering light and floating platforms, representatives of 100 alien species gathered. Their forms varied, some with tentacles, others with multiple eyes, some towering twice the height of a human, others small and insect-like. They spoke in resonating tones that humans could barely comprehend. "Humans are unpredictable," hissed Varlin of the Zakari. His voice cracked like shifting stone. "They grow too fast. Their technology evolves overnight. They are dangerous." "Dangerous, yes," agreed Lissara of the Venari, "but small. I say we eliminate them before they grow stronger. Strike first, strike hard, and the galaxy will be safe." From the opposite platform, a few delegates shook their heads. "Preemptive war is rash," said Cairo of the Arathans. "We have yet to understand them. Diplomacy may serve better than fire and death." But the council was divided. Fear of humanity had taken root, and fear is a dangerous seed. By vote, the majority declared war. The decision sent shockwaves across human colonies, worlds that had only known peaceful exploration and trade. On the human side of the galaxy, Captain Elias Thorne stared at the council's broadcast. His ship, the Aurora Vanguard, floated silently above a blue and green planet. Elias was tall, with a lean frame hardened by years of space travel. His eyes were sharp, always scanning, always calculating. "They've chosen war," said his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Chen, her voice calm but tense. "They think we're weak. They think this will be easy." Elias shook his head. "They always underestimate us. That's our advantage. Prepare the fleet. We're not going to beg for mercy." The first attacks were sudden and brutal. Council fleets appeared from hyperspace, firing massive energy cannons that carved craters into human colonies. Cities burned and alarms echoed through every colony. Humans had expected hostility, but not such a swift and coordinated assault. Yet despite the shock, humans fought back with ingenuity. The Aurora Vanguard led a counterstrike, and what followed stunned the Council. Where the aliens expected rigid formations, humans moved unpredictably. Ships split and rejoined like schools of fish. Energy shields adapted mid-battle, absorbing enemy fire and reflecting it back. Human tactics were chaotic, but chaos was their ally. In orbit above Nova Prime, Elias directed his fleet. "Divide into 3 squadrons. 1 feints toward the outer rim. 2 will strike the supply chain. Timing is everything." "Understood, Captain," Mara replied. Her hands danced across the controls with practiced precision. Within hours, the first Council fleet was destroyed, not by brute force, but by humans' clever use of technology and strategy. The Council members watching from their command stations were furious. "How is this possible?" hissed Varlin. "They are only a fraction of our strength." "They adapt," said Cairo quietly, "and they are fearless. They do not follow our patterns. That is why they survive." Humans also excelled on the ground. When the Council attempted to seize control of planetary capitals, human resistance was relentless. Automated defense systems, improvised weapons, and the sheer courage of citizens slowed the invaders. Entire alien squads were trapped in cities they assumed would surrender. Elias led a small strike team to liberate a colony under siege. They moved like shadows through burning streets, their energy rifles precise and controlled. Civilians followed, inspired by the humans' resolve. One of the alien commanders, a 6-limbed warrior named Thrax, found himself cornered. "Surrender," he bellowed, his voice shaking with disbelief. "You are outnumbered." Elias stepped forward. "Numbers don't win wars. Strategy, courage, and unity do. You should have considered that before attacking us." Before Thrax could respond, Elias's squad activated a small device, sending a pulse that disabled the aliens' weapons. Without realizing it, Thrax's fleet had been cut off and the humans took control with minimal losses. Across the galaxy, similar stories unfolded. Humans underestimated and dismissed were proving deadly. Every colony they defended, every fleet they outmaneuvered became a symbol of hope, and a growing fear for the Council. Despite human victories, Elias knew the war was far from over. The Council's full might had yet to be unleashed. He called a meeting with his top commanders aboard the Aurora Vanguard. "We're good," he said. "But we need more than good. We need brilliant. The Council has resources we can't match. They have fleets stationed across the galaxy. If we're going to survive, we must turn their arrogance into their weakness." Mara leaned forward. "We've already done it once. Their attacks were based on assumptions about us. If we can predict their next moves, we can stay one step ahead." "Exactly," Elias replied. "And I have a plan. But it's risky. If it fails, we lose everything." The plan involved a daring strike on a Council supply hub hidden in an asteroid field. It was heavily guarded, a fortress in the void. But the humans' unconventional approach gave them an edge. Using small, agile ships and unpredictable flight paths, they could penetrate defenses without direct confrontation. As the fleet prepared for departure, Elias looked out the viewport at the stars. "The galaxy thinks humans are weak. They think we follow rules they understand. But humans, we bend rules. We invent, we adapt, and we survive. That's our power." The Council, meanwhile, was growing desperate. Fleet after fleet failed to contain the humans. Internal arguments erupted among members. Some wanted to continue the war, hoping sheer numbers would eventually crush humans. Others began to fear that continued attacks might destroy the Council itself. Cairo, ever cautious, warned, "They are more than clever. They are unpredictable. Their unity is our enemy. If we do not adapt, this war will consume us all." But Varlon scoffed. "You worry too much. Humanity is small. They cannot match our firepower forever. Soon they will fall." Varlon would soon learn that arrogance can be deadly. The humans launched their assault on the supply hub. Using decoy fleets, they lured alien patrols into traps. Engineers remotely hacked Council drones, turning them against their own ships. Humans moved in silence, striking swiftly and then vanishing into asteroid shadows. By the time the Council realized the attack, the supply hub was in human hands. Resources meant for thousands of warships were destroyed or captured. The aliens were left scrambling, struggling to regroup. Elias and his team transmitted a message to the Council. "This is not the end. It is only the beginning. Humans fight not because we are fearless, but because we are united. Underestimate us at your peril." News of the victory spread across human colonies. Citizens cheered, engineers and soldiers celebrated, and morale soared. Even civilians, once frightened, now believed in humanity's ability to survive the impossible. Elias, however, remained focused. He gathered his commanders. "We've won battles," he said, "but the war continues. The Council is powerful. They will come back with greater force. We need to be ready, not just to defend, but to strike where they least expect it." Mara nodded. "Then we will. We will continue to fight. We will continue to survive. And we will prove that humans are not a species to be trifled with." Above them, the stars shone cold and indifferent. Yet among the humans, a new certainty grew. No matter the odds, no matter the enemy, they would endure. The galaxy had underestimated them once. Soon, it would learn the true power of humanity. The human fleet floated silently in the void, waiting. Above them, stars gleamed like distant fires, indifferent to the war raging across the galaxy. Captain Elias Thorne stood on the bridge of the Aurora Vanguard, his eyes fixed on the holographic display of the approaching Council fleet. It was larger than any humans had ever faced. Thousands of ships bristling with weapons moved in precise formation, confident of victory. "They think they can overwhelm us," Elias said quietly. "They think they know what humans are capable of. They don't." Lieutenant Mara Chen leaned beside him, her gaze steady. "We've adapted before. We can do it again, but we need more than defense. We need strategy." Elias nodded. "Exactly. And we're going to give them something they never expected." The humans launched a feint. Small squads broke off from the main fleet, flying toward the Council fleet's flank. Sensors detected them, and alien commanders assumed it was a minor diversion. They ordered their main forces to ignore the small ships and maintain formation. But the diversion was just the beginning. Hidden behind a dense asteroid field, human engineers had positioned a network of microdrones, tiny, nearly invisible machines capable of infiltrating alien systems. The drones zipped through gaps in the Council fleet, carrying virus codes designed to disable weapons, shields, and communication arrays. Within minutes, chaos erupted. Energy cannons misfired. Shields flickered. Fleets collided with one another as automated systems failed. Council commanders shouted orders that went unheard, their fleets spinning helplessly in the void. Elias watched with grim satisfaction. They trusted their technology. They trusted their numbers. And they forgot one thing. Humans do not follow rules they do not understand. The Council, once unified and confident, now faced a crisis. The Zakari, Varlin's species, were enraged. "This is impossible," Varlin screamed. "We have the numbers. We have the technology. How can these humans, these insignificant creatures, destroy fleets with mere tricks?" Cairo of the Arathans, calm as ever, shook his head. "It is not their strength that defeats us," he said softly. "It is their mind, their unity, their unpredictability. And our arrogance blinds us." Meanwhile, in human space, civilians cheered as news of victories spread. Entire systems once occupied by the Council were freed. Supplies meant for massive warships were captured. The humans were not just defending, they were winning. Elias knew the decisive moment would come at the heart of the Council itself. He convened his top commanders aboard the Aurora Vanguard. "The Council's central command hub," he said, pointing to the holographic map, "coordinates their fleets across the galaxy. Destroy it and the Council loses control. Their war effort collapses. But it is heavily defended far beyond anything we've faced." Mara studied the map. "We can't take it head on. Even with our fleets, they'll crush us." Elias smiled faintly. "We won't attack head on. We'll use what humans do best: cleverness, small teams, precise strikes, disruption from within. We turn their strength against them." The plan was risky. A team of elite human pilots and engineers would infiltrate the Council hub, disguised as a minor transport fleet. Using advanced cloaking technology and AI-guided navigation, they would bypass the outer defenses and reach the core. There they would deploy devices capable of disrupting the hub's systems, causing massive confusion across the Council fleets. As the fleet approached the hub, tension ran high. Every human aboard every ship knew the stakes. Failure would mean annihilation. Success would change the galaxy forever. "Remember," Elias said to his strike team, "we are small. We are underestimated. That is our power. Use your minds, your skills, your courage. And do not forget, humans survive where others fail." The team nodded, determination in their eyes. The Council's hub loomed like a fortress in space. Energy fields shimmered, and massive ships patrolled its perimeter. Sensors detected the approaching fleet immediately. Alarm signals blared across the Council command decks. "They are here," hissed Varlon. "Prepare the defenses. Destroy them before they reach the core." But the humans were not approaching conventionally. Their fleet split into multiple small vectors, weaving through asteroid belts and space debris. Automated drones hacked remotely, disabled several Council patrols. Cloaked human ships slipped past the outer shields unnoticed. Inside the hub, the elite human team prepared their devices. Engineers worked with rapid precision, installing the disruption modules onto the central systems. Every second mattered. Then alarms blared. Council security forces detected the intrusion. Battle erupted inside the hub. Energy beams crisscrossed corridors. Humans moved like shadows, dodging attacks, disabling alien soldiers with non-lethal but effective devices. One Council commander, a six-limbed warrior named Trivac, confronted Elias directly. "You will not succeed, human," he roared. Elias kept his calm. "We don't need to win here," he said. "We just need to disrupt. That is enough." With a precise sequence, the disruption devices activated. Systems across the hub flickered, failed, and misfired. Outside, the Council fleet spun out of control. Ships collided, weapons turned on each other, and formations collapsed. In a panic, the Council members tried to regain control. Cairo, seeing the inevitable, spoke to the remaining members. "It is over. Their unity, their courage, and their ingenuity have defeated us. We cannot fight a species that does not follow our rules." Varlin refused to accept it. "This is impossible," he screamed. "We are the Council, the most powerful species in the galaxy. Humans cannot." A sudden explosion rocked the command chamber. Human forces had disabled the final defense nodes. The Council's leadership was in chaos, and their fleets were leaderless, scattered, and crippled. Across human space, celebrations erupted. Colonies once under siege were liberated. Humans had not only survived, they had turned the war into a victory. Captain Elias Thorne sent a final broadcast to the Council. "This is the consequence of underestimating humanity. We do not rely on sheer numbers or raw strength. We rely on ingenuity, courage, and unity. Learn this, and perhaps future generations will remember, but never again underestimate humans. The Council had no choice but to surrender. Peace talks were convened, with humans recognized as a major galactic power. They would not be oppressed, underestimated, or dismissed again. Elias reflected on the war. He had seen colonies burned, fleets destroyed, and the terror of near defeat. Yet he had also seen the best of humanity: courage in the face of impossible odds, creativity when resources were scarce, and unity when the galaxy expected division. Mara approached, smiling. "You did it, Captain. The galaxy now knows what humans can do." Elias shook his head. "We didn't do it alone. Every person, every fleet, every mind that refused to give up. That is what won this war. The galaxy may fear us now, but it should respect us forever." Even as peace settled across the stars, humans knew the galaxy would continue to challenge them. Other species would rise, other threats would emerge. But humanity had proven a vital truth. Small or weak they might appear, underestimated they never should be, and the humans would continue to survive. They would continue to adapt. And one day they would shape the galaxy, not through domination but through courage, unity, and the brilliance of the human mind. Elias looked out at the stars once more. "The war is over," he whispered. "But the story of humanity is just beginning."